Hi guys, long time no see. I have to keep it down because the echo quality in this place is just phenomenal. It really is. And forgive my wildness, it seems that when I don't have a darker room, I actually look more awful, which is amazing. Oh, how things have been going. Well, I'm still not able to get 40 hours from my job, and neither is my husband. So he's working on his. Hopefully, that will be rectified soon. And as for me, I've been job searching. As I think I said about a month ago, I wasn't able to get on with the police force. I gave it a go, but yeah, that didn't fly too well. I mean, I like the job that I've got, and I have loads of fun there, but I sweat to death. Well, I'm working on a grill, so I sweat to death, and the hours are just so hit and miss, and on the weekends, they've got me coming in stupefyingly early, and during the week, it's like 4 hours here, 4 hours there, and at odd times, and my days off are split up. I mean, like today, I'm off today, and according to them, I'm off on Thursday. Yeah, not really helpful, and not really conducive. I mean, I think the most that I can get is about 30 hours tops. And when I understand it can take 2 or 3 months before I can get 40. And the crashing sounds you hear in the background is when my kiddos in their room, far, far into the hall, playing with their Legos. Yeah, the sound quality is that good here. So we've had some interesting things happen besides job searching, which I will get back to. Um, I've had some really stupefyingly interesting things. Now, of course, we can't smoke in here, and we discovered the other day just how sensitive the alarm system actually is. One of our friends from Louisville has come up here, and he's looking for a job and a place to stay, and he's crashing here until that time. And he was cooking spaghetti. Now, we have a propane stove. The stove is propane. So he was doing spaghetti, I guess, like you would do an electric stove if you're a bachelor. And he caught spaghetti on fire. Now, what's so funny is there wasn't that much smoke, but it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I get I get, you know, like halfway to sleep, and I've been having trouble sleeping, here lately. I don't know what it is. My system keeps wanting to go back to third shift, and it's not supposed to do that. So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I have to be at work at 7:30 in the morning, and I already know this is probably not going to happen. At least not easily. I'm going to be extremely groggy. And here it is, 1 o'clock in the morning. The fire alarm goes off. I mean, it is loud. Loud. I mean, beep, beep, and then as I'm going, what the hell is going on? And running from the bedroom, I realize this is the fire alarm. So I open up the front door. He's got the porch open, going, "I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'm so sorry." He was like, "Oh my god, I was just trying to cook spaghetti, and I looked away for 2 seconds. Oh my god." And then I hear this lady's voice saying, "Warning, fire," and I'm like, "Oh my god." The reason why I started freaking out is because there is a sprinkler system. I mean, there's 3 sprinklers in this room alone. And once it hits a certain point where it is determined there is an actual fire and that it wants to do something about it, it will flood this apartment. Instantaneously. It will flood this apartment. So everything that we've got, gone in 2 seconds flat. It will flood this apartment. So yeah, we don't smoke in here. And now I'm kind of wary, even though we have the fan going, of even doing something as simple as lighting a stick of incense. Because it is that hardcore sensitive. So, we learned a lesson this last Friday night, Saturday morning. The fire alarm is uber sensitive. But this brings me back to work. So, it was 3 o'clock in the morning before I could even fall asleep. 3 o'clock. Edging towards 3:30. Hubby's at work. he's trying to get, I mean, both of us managed to calm down, but the adrenaline spike was just phenomenal. So I actually had to call into work. They weren't happy with me. And it wasn't so much the fact that I called in, it's the fact that I kept thinking I can get up and I can go to work. I can do this. But I had like the last 2 or 3 days before been a stretch of getting maybe 3 hours, 4 hours tops. Insomnia has just been really freaking horrible. And I just knew I wasn't going to make it. I knew it. And yet I kept telling myself for like 2 hours, I'm going to make it. And it was the only day where I actually worked 9 hours. So there went a third of this week's paycheck. So I wasn't very happy with me. I wasn't very happy with the insomnia in general, but at least I know how the fire alarm does. But that's okay. I mean, like I said, I like some of the people that I work with. I actually like the job, but they're not going to give me 40 hours. It turns out I have to wait 2 or 3 months for that to happen, and my bills just cannot take that. All the management is male. All of them. All the management is male. I don't really think that a female will get up there in this job. And then to top it all off, like one day they changed my schedule, and I had no idea. I mean, I looked at the schedule at 8 o'clock in the morning. They changed the schedule sometime around noon. So at 3 o'clock when they printed the schedule on Thursday, I had one thing, they had another. So I show up at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, oh, we tried to call you, sleepyhead. And I'm like, what? Turns out that they had scheduled me for 7:30. So I was late for that one. When we did the spring forward, fall back, I was 15 minutes late. I called them and let them know, I'm sorry, I'm going to be late. And they laughed it off. And then this Saturday, I actually had to call in for my 9 hours that I was scheduled. Here it is, I want more hours, and I didn't make it. So they weren't very happy with me. And like I said, it was because I called like half an hour before I was supposed to be in, not the standard 2 hours. Because I spent 2 hours going, oh, I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it. No, it didn't happen like that. And now they're doubly unhappy with me because tomorrow I have an interview where I will make $1 more, and it will be a set schedule of 9 to 6. They don't know that, and that's what I'm aiming for, is for a set schedule where I have 2 days off in a row, and this is more office work, and I will not, hopefully, be sweating to death over a stove with people yelling at me constantly. I need this, I need that. It's data entry, and, I'll be taking some orders. So it's, I'm going to be taking some calls, data entry, filing, things like that. So that's cool. I can do that. And I'm more than happy to give that a go. The bad thing is the interview is from like 10 to 12. I'm supposed to be at work tomorrow at 12:30. I went ahead and I called them at 10:30, excuse me. So I went ahead and I called them and let them know it's going to be about 12:15 before I'll be in. So I just cut my own hours again. But if I get the job, they're going to want me to work the next day. So if I get the job, I have to walk in and tell my current job that I'm turning in my 2 weeks, and they can work me 2 weekends. Which means I'll be working like 14 days straight. But 2 weekends, and then that'll be it. But they'll probably be relieved because I'm pretty sure by now, what with being late twice, having to call in once in less than a month and a half, and saying I'm going to be late, calling ahead, a day ahead, to say I'm going to be late because of an appointment. So that's 3 times late and 1 time where I called off. I'm pretty sure they think I'm flaking out already, and they're probably not very amused with that. I'm not very amused with that. I generally have a better track record. I mean, every time I'm scheduled, generally, they see me 2 minutes ahead of time. I'm clocking in 2 minutes ahead of time, and I'm usually the one that stays over anywhere from 10 minutes to half an hour late. So that's a good thing, and I'm rather good at the job, so they appreciate that. But 3 times late, even though 2 of the times I called and said I'm going to be late, and then calling in and saying I'm not going to be there one day, and I've only been there a month and a half. That isn't good. That doesn't look good at all. So I'm not very happy with me, but at the same time, I'm not super happy with them either, because I came on saying I needed 40 hours, and that's what they told me I was going to be getting. And then from everybody else I talked to, it takes 2 or 3 months for that to happen. I can't afford that. I told hubby that his work needs to get on the ball too. We need to make it happen. We're going to need 40 hours from his workplace to be able to make all this happen. I do know that if I do get the job, I'm going to have to call the vet and change when Kaden goes in for his follow-up checkup. And I'm going to have to ask for a day off, one solid actual weekday, so that I can go and take care of their medical. It has to be done. I have to go take care of their Medicaid. And that's just because I want to make sure that my kiddos are all set. I went in for an interview today. Today's, of course, my day off. And I was going in, and it was, I thought it was originally like working for a funeral home, setting appointments, and helping people, make purchases and things like that. And I was all cool with that. Turns out, no. It is a call center, and I am calling other people, so it's outbound. Inbound can be difficult enough, but this is outbound calls. And it makes $14 an hour, but I am calling basically and bugging people at their home and selling them shit. Wasn't very happy when I walked out. But the lady called me back today, and she was like, well, if you don't want to wait a month for that, I've got this. Now, what's so funny is the company that I work for right now is literally right up the road. I mean, literally. It's not even a quarter of a mile away. And this place is even less than that. It's like literally at the end of my street. The street rolls out, you go, you exit the apartments, and you roll down to where there's like a cross section, and I usually follow the cross section around to go to my job. It's right there. It's right there at the cross section. So, yeah, I mean, it's that much closer. And I'd make $1 more. And she was like, do you want to do this? And I'm like, well, what does it consist of? What's the pay? She told me what the pay is. She told me what it consists of. So I'm going in for an interview tomorrow. Once again, I'm going through a temp agency. Not really happy about that. But it seems that I'm going to be working for a place that's right up the road. It's my skill set, so I can put that immediately on my resume. And, I'll be working within my skill set, and hopefully I'll be able to find a way to move into the company and then move up from there. So that would be nice. I'd like that. Kiddos are doing well. They're actually adjusting quite well. The teacher that Jaden's got, the littlest has got, was like, he's done amazingly well from somebody who's gone from a completely different area of the country and a completely different way of doing things to the way we do things. We've had a couple of, issues with him, mostly stubborn issues, but we've got them pretty much worked out. I'm filling out an evaluation right now, and I always hate filling those out because it seems more like they're evaluating me than they are my kiddo. Paranoia. And I have no reason to be paranoid, but it just seems whenever it comes to my kids, I am. The eldest is also doing quite well, and he's working on a lot of his sloppiness and his organization. His handwriting, I have a feeling, is always going to be terrible, and that's because I think he's a lefty, and he chose to be a righty, and that just isn't working out too well for him. Had a little bit of other excitement within the apartments. We had somebody back into the garage of the lady who lives below us. She is a total sweetheart. And I mean, and they tried to say they did it at 10 miles an hour and blah, blah, blah. No. They had to have done this 35 miles an hour. And they backed up from the dumpster, which is all the way at the last set of apartments at the end. So, wow. They completely caved that monster in. And to top it all off, it seems my neighbor had been in a car accident 2 days before. Which is somewhat a blessing because she and her puppy weren't home, which means nobody was going to get hurt. A lot of her stuff wasn't damaged. But it was still like, oh my god, I certainly hope that you don't have any more bad luck for the next 30 years if possible. The people around here are really super cool. I like a lot of our neighbors. It's kind of funny because it seems the people who are 30 and up are more friendly and open and polite than the people who are 30 and down. And they are always making comments along the lines of, you all are so polite and so nice. Where do you come from? So, I mean, we're enjoying our time here. Yes, Jack. This one has gotten friendlier. He's gotten to where he actually comes out more and wants to hang out more. I think he likes it here. The littlest is a little bit aggressive right now, even after we got him snipped, because the gentleman who is crashing with us, our friend, he brought a puppy with him. Said puppy is out with the eldest, who is good today in school. The youngest, unfortunately, was not. So he didn't get to go to the park with our friend and his dog. The dog stays out on the porch. She's a good dog, but I already have 2 kitties, and Kanan has been, right now, he acts out by chewing on boxes. I don't know what it is. He's got this little shoe box that's his, and he's been chewing on it. So, yeah, I think that's just because of the puppy on the porch. He has personal space issues. But other than that, things are going well. The one $14 an hour job that I was hoping was for a funeral home turned out to be a call center for a funeral home, but not an actual funeral home. So I'm gonna have to give that one a miss. But this other job sounds kind of hopeful, and I'm looking forward to interviewing tomorrow. And if I don't get it and we don't click, that's fine. I still have the job that I've currently got, and I'll still keep looking. I put in for hubby for the city, working at the cemetery. They haven't called yet. It's been about 2 weeks. From what I understand, they do them in pools. So if we don't see an email saying the job is filled, he still has a chance. I know it seems odd that we're trying to get like mortuary and cemetery services, but it's kind of like the medical or the banking field. Once you get in, you're in. And it makes it 10 times easier to actually find steady work, and people will, it's just one of those you have to break into to be able to find a job steadily, and they're always looking for people. So keep your fingers crossed for hubby. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Hopefully you will see more of us soon. That would be nice. Hopefully this video actually has sound. And you'll be seeing me around more. I'm managing to find ways to settle in, and it doesn't seem like, especially with the lacking 40 hours, like things would be hectic, but they kind of are. We still haven't gotten everything moved in. But we've definitely settled into a routine. There's a bit of a disruption, with our friend coming in and staying with us, but that seems to have settled a bit too. So, I actually have cable. It's part of the apartment, and I have been setting up DVR like mad so I can catch my shows when I have time and when I want to. And it won't eat up my computer time, which means more time with you guys, which is always a plus. Hopefully more time writing too. Keep your fingers crossed. So even though it's taking a little bit longer than I like, we're finally settling in, and that will mean I will be able to be back and commenting again, which makes me happier than I can say. And hopefully answering comments again, because the last 2 posts that had comments open, I still haven't answered, and I have read them, guys, but I probably won't be answering them. I do apologize. I know those were like a month ago. But we're very much getting there. And I wanted to thank you all for being so patient with my lack of posts and lack of comments. I'm getting there again. And soon we'll have ourselves a good routine set up, and I will have more time to do the things that I'd like to do. Which means, yes, talking to you guys. So I shall end this rambling post now that it is past 20 minutes. And let you guys know that I will be talking to you again soon. Until then, take good care of yourselves, take good care of each other, and know that I love you.